Hello, welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy, and this is
Teresa. Hi.
Hi. We are going to talk about our first experience at Hogwarts. We had to take a couple of days rest, though. It was exhausting. Great time, but exhausting.
Definitely.
I have never done competitive stitching before, and oh, were my hands tired.
My brain was tired.
That too. I am not a night owl at all. We joke around the house that I turn into a pumpkin at 9 o'clock, and I was regularly staying up till midnight to try to get all the challenges in. Even using time turners, I was staying up late. And then there was a day I had 2 challenges I missed, one the night before and one that morning because of a job interview. And so I had to stay up or not have any time turners to use. So it was quite intense. And people have been saying it was intense, but you don't really get it until you're there.
It's like parenting. You know it's going to be hard, but you don't know how hard until you know.
Yeah. So we thought we would share with you what we got done at Frogwarts, what our experience was like. You guys know I've been stitching for a long time. Teresa, you've been stitching, just over a year?
Right around there.
Yeah. Because last summer is when...
I think I started in July, so like right around a year now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, different experiences. We met some nice people, right?
Very nice people. Made some new friends.
And we're going to go on a road trip to the only LNS left in Minnesota. It's like, 3 hours away?
It's a good chunk.
So we're going to meet up with 2 of the ladies we met during Frogwarts and go on a day trip to go to the only cross-stitch store left in the state.
Welcome Stitchery, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go check it out. I've never been there.
I haven't either, because 3 hours is a long way to go. So we're just going to hang out, make a day of it, and get to know them a little better. I thought we would share what we did. It was year 5, so all the adventures that Harry and Hermione and Ron had. I'm going to show you what I did. My husband will be so kind as to put in a picture of where we were before the retreat started. We only got our boxes the day before the retreat. And because the boxes were arriving so late, they gave us a partial pattern ahead of time. So just the far left and the far right with a few of the motifs so that you get started before the retreat. It made it even harder.
I hated Grimold Place, personally. That building can...
Go back between the other buildings and disappear again?
Yes, for sure. I don't ever want to stitch that building again.
So I have my piece here. I started on the left when we got the partial pattern and worked my way. I left part of Grimold Place open. I did have to frog that at least once before the retreat started. I had to do a little tiny bit of frogging during the retreat, and then I worked my way left, or right. My directions are messed up. I had the words done before the retreat. So then I worked on the twins with their chains. Here is my prefect badge. I was in Hufflepuff, so I changed it for the Hufflepuff colors. Here are radish earrings, and I used Light Effects Gold to make them shimmery. I used beads instead of French knots, because nobody likes French knots. Well, I guess not nobody. There are some people who do, but I am not one of them. And then I got so close to being done. There's a couple of motifs here that I'm missing, but for the most part, I got all the large motifs done. And here is the veil, and I used a toile, and I changed the colors to give it a shimmer, because it's foggy and shimmery at the same time in the movies. So I did, just give me a sec. I had to do the math. When I first started doing my non-challenge stitching, I was trying to count it, and then after the first day, I was like, no, that's not going to work. I'm never going to get anywhere. I stopped counting, and so after the retreat was over, I counted up all my non-challenge stitching. So during the challenges, I stitched 4,155 stitches. And outside of the challenges, I stitched 2,333.5 stitches. So during the 5 days of the retreat, I did 6,488 and a half stitches. I stitch a lot, but I don't usually speed stitch.
I didn't know speed stitching was a thing before this.
I did. Other than when trying to finish my commission pieces, I don't really rush.
Sure.
So I admit some hand cramps did happen. Definitely took it easy the next few days because, my hands hurt. My back was sore. I was tired. So tired. But it really was fun. And I added a bunch of people's Instagrams and Flosstubes. And I still have to go back and dig through all the stash dives to enable myself to make a bigger wish list, which could be very dangerous. So that is my piece. I thought Teresa could share hers now. She definitely got closer to finishing than I did, and I stopped doing any alternative challenges and just took penalty stitches trying to get it done. Except for on the last day, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, so I worked on one of my other ones. But
on Saturday night, I decided I was going to stay up all night and continue stitching so I could finish, and then I didn't anyway. So it was very disappointing. But
that's been in timeout.
Oh, I don't even want to touch it. So there were lots of changes that I made, but mostly because my floss wasn't really different. I think in the overdye stuff, it might have been fancier, but I just used regular DMC and they were like identical. And so that was really frustrating for me to stitch, specifically on the umbrage piece. This one, it's supposed to be two different colors and it looks like the same color. And so I stitched them as two different colors, but they had no visual difference to me really, other than one tiny little spot near the top. So I was mad and I decided I'm going to go back and top stitch that later, but it's still in timeout, so that won't be happening right now. After seeing that the colors were so similar, I realized that those same colors repeated in Grimald Place and in the arch, the actual physical arch. And I didn't want to have that same frustration of basically the same kind of color. So I switched those out, well, one of them out for a lighter floss to make it pop. I struggled with Grimald Place. To tell you that I frogged it 4 times is not the truth, it's 5. I stitched in Grimald Place and removed stitches 5 different times. I hate that building. It looks great now, but it was really a pain in my butt.
You weren't the only one, though.
No, there were lots of people posting about double check the count on the windows. And being a new stitcher, I assumed that, it's a pattern, and it is a pattern, except the pattern extends and changes. So thankfully, my Frogwarts buddy Pippa was like, hey, your windows are off on the second set. So I had already gone from the top all the way towards like this bottom piece, and I had to frog all of the bottom half of Grimald Place to go back up and fix this second window set because I had done the wrong count of windows. And then I did something with the railing was in the wrong spot, and I put the gate up a row too high. That was a 4th frog. And then there was something in this bottom section, and I don't even remember what it was, but I was just like super over Grimald Place. I really loved stitching all of the little parts. The ears I thought were going to be annoying, but they weren't. They were really fun, just because they were everywhere repeated. I really enjoyed stitching the ears. They were fun. The teeny tiny people, Neville and the Weasley twins, were lots of color changes, but they were pretty easy and pretty fun. I missed a whole bunch of stitches in this little swamp on accident, so I had to come back to that a few times, but I thought I was done, and then I was like, wait, I'm missing some more. You can see where I struggled. I stayed up until my eyeballs were crossing and I could not stitch straight, so I thought I was pulling from the bottom left to the top right and the bottom right to the top left, and then I would look at it and my eyes would focus and I would see I literally just stitched in the same place twice, sometimes 3 times, and I was like, oh, it's not working. I did change the Luna shoes so that they didn't look so much like bacon. I added purple and switched the colors around a little bit. The way they were being stitched by most people, I was like, they kind of look like bacon, and I don't really want bacon shoes, so I switched those. We had lots of new specialty stitches that I'd never done. Like Amy, I also put in beads rather than the French knots. I tried. I can't do French knots, is what I learned. So I made my beads green. You made yours the called for pink color.
I found a raspberry red kind of one.
Perfect. It called for pink, but I thought it looked better as a bubble tuber, so I went with green beads. And Neville's got one in the beginning of the movie anyway. I had a lot of fun. I got everything done except the curtain, and I stitched the bottom half of it correctly, and then just trying to get stitches done and finish, I decided to start filling in the top part of this on my own and making up my own pattern. And now I'm probably just going to frog that all when it comes out of timeout and do it the right way and then finish it up properly. But I don't want to see it right now. So it's going to stay in timeout.
I think a lot of people are like taking a break from it.
I've already started 2 other projects and I only had 3 starts before this. So that tells you how much I'm avoiding this.
But as much as it was frustrating not finishing,
it was a lot of fun.
It was. And it was tiring. And we both want to go back and do it again.
Yes. I think right away we were both like, next year.
What can we do better? What did we learn so we can strategize better?
Yes. Some strategies for me is I probably would just take penalty stitches every single time and only work on the designated year.
Well, it would also depend on when we got the box, so we could have the whole pattern too. I think
that's true.
It was a little bit delayed this year. They were waiting on an item. Quidditch was fun. I didn't really start getting the hang of it till like game 4.
Mm-hmm. I subbed in on a Quidditch game and it was really fun. Even though I had to play with Slytherin, I didn't mind. It was fun. So I kind of had like a fight about should I do my very best for this other team that's not my house because I was Gryffindor. And I was like, I'm just going to play hard because that's what I do. So I played my very best and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and everybody at the retreat's super helpful. Even if you're in a different house, they'll like let everybody know when all the little like pop-up challenges happen so you can get extra house points. And everybody's telling everybody. It doesn't matter their house, so. Right.
And in fact, when we had like Zoom rooms going on and like the Gryffindor common room was the house that I was sorted into, the Frogwarts house that I was sorted into. And then you were in the Hufflepuff kitchens.
Yeah, the Hogwarts kitchens, yeah.
Sure. So, and Amy will tell you that like there were lots of people in the different common rooms that weren't necessarily that house, and it wasn't really like a thing. It wasn't like you're not from. It was just like everybody's welcome. Come on in everywhere. So whether you went into theirs or they came into yours, it was.
The only difference was whether you wanted a chatty room or a quiet room.
Our room was mostly chatty.
Mostly chatty. Sometimes just to help each other stay awake.
That's definitely true. There was a lot of silly conversations, but lots of really nice people. That was probably my favorite part, was meeting new people who were friendly from all over the place.
Yeah. So if you haven't done a retreat, I recommend it, whether you're an experienced stitcher or a new one. They're super fun.
Speed stitching is serious, though. Yeah. Oh, can I tell them about my favorite thing?
Yes.
Okay, so my very favorite thing was somebody in the Gryffindor common room was like, I was talking about how I kept losing pins now. I am notorious for losing pins. In fact, I've lost needles today in this room before we recorded. And one of the ladies was like, hey, you should try this. And she had like one of those really small 6x4, I don't know, wasn't very big, metal cake pans or cookie sheets, and she had some magnets on it, and I was like, that would be great. No, she just had a cookie sheet, and she said, I load my thread and my needles and I set them on the tray, and I was like, I have a cake pan. And so I went and got an 8x8 cake pan, and then I remembered on the side of my refrigerator, because Amy and I had made needle minders, I had a large stack of really strong magnets, so I plunked the magnets inside the cake pan, and then it was fantastic, because as we would sew and I'd finish a thread, instead of having to worry about knocking my needle into the couch arm, which I did several times, I would just very satisfyingly plunk it into the pan, and it would clink clink, and no matter where it would hit and stick to one of the magnets, so I always knew where my needles were, and it was really fancy, and I really liked it. So cake pans with needles and lots of magnets is the way I'm going for ever, I think. I might market them. I'm not sure. It was fun.
It was fun.
What was one of your unexpected favorites?
That's a toughie. I backed out of the stash dives. I did one just a little bit, just because I was like, stuff's going on and I'm too overwhelmed, so I'm going to back off. I liked Quidditch more than I thought. I was really nervous.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
The digital dives were really good for me because I don't have a stash. Being a newer stitcher, I have like 5 patterns. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do.
Yeah. One of the things that I was torn about was sometimes I wanted to participate in the stash dives and stuff, but at the same time I was like really wanting to finish year 5. And if I took the time to do stash dives or the digital dives or any of that, then I had less chance of finishing. I didn't finish anyway.
But there's less time. So you kind of feel that pull of like, if I don't do the stash dive, I can stitch for 1 more hour than everybody who does the dive.
Yeah, there was that. Watching the movies was fun. Although I had to finish them after the retreat because my little computer wouldn't do Zoom and the movies at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I learned about Pattern Keeper. I'm really excited about that. So I was manually counting every single stitch.
I did the whole time.
Yeah, it's fine, but it was not as fast as Pattern Keeper would be. Or what was the other one? The one that's for...
the one that's for Apple is Markup XP.
There we go. That one. They both sound great. So, yeah. I don't know my total stitch count. I threw away my cards because I was sad. I was really sad.
You were so close. It would, like, I could totally getting really frustrated with being that close.
I was like, I'm gonna get there. Nope, I did not. So
you still did. You did an impressive close to finishing. So
it's all good. I got really far. I'll finish it. It's just still in timeout.
And then of course comes the question. All right, how much do we finish? Because it was you had to get a finish to get credit for a finish during the retreat. You had to have at least 500 stitches, and they tend to raise that every year so that people can't bank projects ahead of time, so they can get like 12 finishes during the retreat.
I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna rip out all the top ones that I made up. So these ones were right, like these are the right stitches all the way up here, but then up here, that top part, I made those up. So I'm gonna rip out all of those, and then I will have more than 500. So hopefully if I just leave it sit, then I can go back and...
But to go to the other years, how much do you to work on the other years, then you can leave a little bit.
Speaking of other years, I don't have much done in those.
You want to show?
I mean, there's not a lot, sure.
Because I had so much less than you, I didn't even bother.
We only just got so Amy and I were new, obviously. We were the firsties, but we're not firsties anymore.
No, we're not equal firsties anymore.
No, that was my year 4. And I didn't work on that one at all because for prompts that 4 fit, it was more sensible for me to use 5. So I didn't use that one at all. The one above that is 3. I did a lot of the diamond stitches because I got really fast at those. Actually, the diamonds were my fastest, and I got 260 stitches in an hour. That was really my fastest.
Good. Yeah, that was really good.
And then I think twice I had to use year 2 to fulfill a prompt. And again, I think next year I wouldn't even bother doing the other years. I think it would just finish the current year. Unless I don't know.
Do you have anything but the diamonds on 2?
Nope, that's all I did. That was all I did in 2. And I have nothing in 1 because
you started in the middle.
Because we're starting. Yeah, I did a year 4 start middle because 4 was the middle year.
And I started at the top and worked my way down to get to year 5. But that's because I was also using the footprints.
The feet.
Yeah. And I didn't want to mess up the placement of 4 with the footprints because you have to shift the center a little bit. And I was like, not going to mess with that. And then math decided to rebel against me and I had problems with the feet. But I left space for the feet for me to fill in later.
Yeah.
So it'll work.
It was really fun though.
It was.
I'm really
looking
forward to next year.
I wish I could go to more retreats actually. But I do not have infinite money and infinite time.
Infinite time alone is the thing, right? Like if we didn't have to go to work.
Oh, that would be so nice.
But we would still not be able to finish all the things we want to finish.
No, that is very true.
Yeah. So.
The bane of the life of a crafter. Time.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely reached Sable. Stash acquired beyond life expectancy.
Oh. I can finish mine in less than a year.
Yes, you can. Unless you start rating my stash.
I don't know. I just downloaded that one. New.
Oh yeah, the Princess Bride Stitch Along.
As You Wish. I just downloaded that, and I have fabric and thread coming in the mail.
Yeah, and I'm tempted because
really excited.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
So.
Inconceivable.
Do not think that word means what you think it means.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy your stitching time. And if you ever get a chance to go to a retreat, it's a great way to find some stitchy friends so that your family stops staring at you like you're a crazy person.
And if you don't want to compete, they have Hogsmeade, which is for non-competers who just want to have people to talk to and hang out with and meet new things.
Yeah.
It's great.
So really recommend it. They did physical prizes that you could win. In fact, you won one.
I did on
like the very first night.
Yeah, the very first like drawings. They pulled my number and I was like, I win! And the thing they drew was a thing that I'd actually put in a card a previous time.
It was an Autumn Lane pattern that you'd been. It was the turtle, right?
Yes. I don't remember its proper name.
I don't either. But we can look it up.
It's going to appear up here somewhere.
Possibly.
Maybe.
If the
not,
editor's
okay.
feeling kindly.
Anyway.
Yeah, you were
excited.
so lucky because I did not get to win, sadly. But that's
And some
okay.
people won like
four or five times.
That
It was crazy. And then the prizes for the people who won like the stash dives and the MVP, and those were some good prizes.
Yeah, they're going to be excited. I may or may not have ordered myself some of those things because I did not win them.
And then it's funny because they have to let some of the people know, hey guys, we talked about you at our retreat. Be prepared for a lot of orders.
Yes.
So it was a great time, whether it's Frogwarts or some other retreat, in person or online. Make some stitchy friends. Have a good time. It's nice to have people that share your passion with you. So, see you later and enjoy your stitching.